If you're over 50 and you've been dealing with stiff joints, nagging aches, or just that general feeling of discomfort that seems to follow you through the day, I want you to know something important. You're not alone, and there may be more you can do about it than you realize. Today, I'm going to share something that might already be sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now. It's an ordinary, affordable spice that research suggests may help support your body's natural response to inflammation. We'll go through everything step by step, and I'll show you several easy ways to start using it today if you and your doctor agree it's right for you. Hello, my friend, and welcome back. I'm Dr. Sarah Truman, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Before we go any further, I need to be very clear about something important. I'm a health coach and wellness educator. I am not a medical doctor, and this video is not medical advice. Everything I share today is for general educational purposes only. Please talk to your own doctor or healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, trying any new supplement, or starting any new health routine. This is especially important if you have existing health conditions, if you take any medications, or if you're scheduled for any medical procedures. Your doctor knows your personal situation best, and nothing I say here replaces their professional guidance. We're all different, and what works wonderfully for one person may not be right for another. Now, let me tell you what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about inflammation, what it actually is, and why it becomes more of a concern as we get older. Then I'm going to reveal this simple spice that scientists have been studying for its potential to support a healthy inflammatory response. After that, I'll walk you through 4 practical ways to incorporate this spice into your daily routine. We'll also discuss some common mistakes people make when using it, clear up a few myths, and I'll share some important warning signs that mean you should see your doctor right away. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of whether this might be something worth discussing with your healthcare provider. Does that sound good? Let's get started. First, let's talk about what inflammation actually is and why it matters so much for those of us over 50. Now, inflammation isn't always a bad thing. In fact, it's one of your body's most important defense mechanisms. When you get a cut on your finger or catch a cold, your immune system sends extra blood, healing cells, and protective compounds to that area. That's why a cut might look red and feel warm. That's acute inflammation, and it's actually helping you heal. The challenge comes when this inflammatory response doesn't turn off properly. Instead of being a short-term helper, it becomes a constant, low-level presence in your body. Scientists sometimes call this chronic inflammation, and research suggests it may be connected to many of the uncomfortable symptoms we associate with getting older. Things like joint stiffness, general achiness, reduced mobility, and feeling more tired than you used to. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a fire alarm in your house. When there's actually a fire, you want that alarm going off loudly to protect you. But what if that alarm started going off randomly throughout the day and night, even when nothing was wrong? Eventually, it would wear you down, disrupt your sleep, and make daily life exhausting. That's a bit like what chronic inflammation can do inside your body. Now, why does this tend to happen more as we age? There are several reasons. Over the years, our bodies are exposed to more environmental factors, more stress, and sometimes our diets aren't quite as balanced as they could be. Our cells naturally accumulate more wear and tear. Sleep patterns can change. Activity levels might decrease. All of these factors can contribute to a heightened inflammatory state. The good news is that research suggests lifestyle factors, including what we eat, can influence our body's inflammatory response. This is where our special spice comes in, and that spice is turmeric. Turmeric is a golden yellow spice that comes from the root of the curcuma longa plant. You might recognize it as the spice that gives curry its distinctive yellow color. People in India and other parts of Asia have been using turmeric in cooking and traditional wellness practices for thousands of years. In recent decades, scientists have become very interested in turmeric, particularly a compound found within it called curcumin. Curcumin is what gives turmeric its vibrant color, and it's the component that researchers have studied most extensively for its potential effects on inflammation. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not going to tell you that turmeric cures anything or that it's a miracle solution. That wouldn't be accurate or responsible. What I can tell you is that there's a growing body of research suggesting that curcumin may help support a healthy inflammatory response in the body. Some people find it helpful as part of an overall wellness approach. Results vary from person to person, and scientists are still learning more every day. Let me share the first practical way you might consider incorporating turmeric into your routine, and that's through a simple homemade drink that some people call golden milk. This is a warm, soothing beverage that you can enjoy in the evening or any time you'd like something comforting. Here's how to make a basic version. First, warm up about 1 cup of milk in a small saucepan. You can use regular dairy milk, or if you prefer, plant-based alternatives like almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk work nicely too. Heat it gently over medium-low heat. You don't want it to boil, just warm enough to be comfortable to drink. Next, add about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of ground turmeric powder. Stir it in gently until the milk turns that beautiful golden color. Here's an important tip that many people don't know about. Curcumin on its own isn't absorbed very well by your body. It tends to pass right through. However, research has shown that adding a small amount of black pepper significantly increases absorption. The compound in black pepper called piperine helps your body take in more of the curcumin. So add just a tiny pinch of ground black pepper to your golden milk. You won't taste it, but it makes a real difference. Some people also like to add a small drizzle of honey for sweetness and a tiny bit of coconut oil or a splash of full-fat milk, since curcumin is fat-soluble, meaning it's absorbed better when consumed with some fat. Stir everything together, pour it into your favorite mug, and enjoy it while it's warm. A few safety notes about this. If you're lactose intolerant, stick with plant-based milk. If you have any known allergies to any of these ingredients, of course, avoid them. Start with a smaller amount of turmeric and see how your body responds before gradually increasing. And most importantly, if you take blood-thinning medications or have gallbladder issues, please talk to your doctor before adding turmeric to your diet regularly. Turmeric may interact with certain medications, so it's essential to get professional guidance. Now that we've covered that simple drink, let's move on to another easy way to get more turmeric into your day, and that's by adding it to foods you already eat. This is probably the most natural and sustainable approach because it doesn't require you to change your routine dramatically. You're simply enhancing meals you're already making. Here are some ideas. When you're making scrambled eggs in the morning, try sprinkling in a small amount of turmeric as you cook them. It adds a lovely color and a subtle earthy flavor that pairs well with eggs. Start with just a 1/4 teaspoon and see how you like it. If you enjoy making soups, especially vegetable soups, chicken soup, or lentil soup, turmeric is a wonderful addition. Add it while the soup is simmering so the flavors have time to blend. Again, that 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon is a good starting point for a pot of soup. Remember to add a bit of black pepper to the soup as well for better absorption. Rice dishes are another great opportunity. When you're cooking rice, add a little turmeric to the cooking water. You'll end up with beautiful golden rice that has a slightly warm, peppery flavor. This works especially well with basmati rice. If you make smoothies, you can add a small amount of turmeric powder to your morning blend. It pairs particularly well with mango, pineapple, or banana because the sweetness of the fruit balances the earthiness of the spice. Add a tiny pinch of black pepper and some healthy fat like a spoonful of nut butter or some full-fat yogurt. The key with adding turmeric to food is consistency and moderation. You don't need to use large amounts. Small amounts regularly over time may be more beneficial than occasional large doses. And this approach also means you're getting turmeric as part of a whole food, which is generally how our bodies prefer to receive nutrients. If you find that you don't enjoy the taste of turmeric in your food, that's perfectly fine. Not everyone does. You can try the other methods I'm sharing today, or you might decide this particular approach isn't for you. Listen to your own preferences and your own body. Here's another thing that may help alongside turmeric, and that's being mindful of other anti-inflammatory foods you can include in your diet. Think of turmeric as one player on a team. It may be helpful, but it works even better when it's supported by other good choices. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines contain omega-3 fatty acids, which research has associated with supporting a healthy inflammatory response. Leafy green vegetables like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard are packed with antioxidants that may help protect your cells. Berries, especially blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries, are another wonderful choice. Nuts, particularly walnuts and almonds, provide healthy fats and various beneficial compounds. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, has been studied extensively and appears to have anti-inflammatory properties. When you combine turmeric with an overall eating pattern that includes plenty of these foods, you're giving your body multiple sources of support. This is much more powerful than relying on any single ingredient. It's also much safer because you're not overdoing any one thing. Now, some people prefer to take turmeric or curcumin as a supplement rather than getting it from food. I want to address this carefully because this is an area where talking to your doctor becomes especially important. Supplements can contain much higher concentrations of curcumin than you would get from cooking with turmeric powder. While this might sound like a good thing, it also means there's more potential for interactions with medications and more potential for side effects. If you're considering a curcumin supplement, please have a conversation with your healthcare provider first. They can help you determine if it's appropriate for your situation, whether there are any potential interactions with medications you take, and what dose might be reasonable if they do recommend it. I am not able to tell you what dose to take because that would be medical advice, and I'm not a medical doctor. Your healthcare provider is the right person to guide you on supplementation. What I can tell you is that if you do take a supplement with your doctor's approval, quality matters. Look for products that have been third-party tested for purity. Many curcumin supplements include black pepper extract or piperine to enhance absorption, or they use special formulations designed to improve bioavailability. But again, more isn't always better, and supplements aren't regulated the same way medications are. This is why professional guidance is so valuable. Let me also share some lifestyle habits that may complement your efforts to support a healthy inflammatory response. These work alongside dietary choices and don't involve any supplements at all. First, gentle, regular movement can be very helpful. This might seem counterintuitive if you're dealing with joint discomfort, but research consistently shows that appropriate physical activity may actually help reduce inflammation rather than increase it. I'm not talking about intense exercise. I'm talking about gentle walking, swimming, water aerobics, tai chi, or simple stretching routines. These activities help keep joints lubricated, support circulation, and may help regulate inflammatory processes in the body. If you have significant joint issues, please work with your doctor or a physical therapist to find movements that are safe and appropriate for you. Start slowly and build up gradually. Second, quality sleep matters more than many people realize. During sleep, your body does a tremendous amount of repair and maintenance work. Poor sleep or insufficient sleep has been associated with higher levels of inflammatory markers in the body. If you struggle with sleep, consider working on your sleep habits. Try to go to bed and wake up at consistent times. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed if possible. Limit caffeine, especially in the afternoon and evening. These simple changes can make a real difference over time. Third, stress management deserves attention. Chronic stress has been shown in research to promote inflammatory responses in the body. Finding healthy ways to manage stress, whether that's spending time in nature, practicing deep breathing, enjoying hobbies, connecting with loved ones, or engaging in prayer or meditation, may help support a more balanced inflammatory response. I know this might sound like a lot when you add it all together, but remember, you don't need to do everything at once. Pick one small thing to focus on first. Maybe it's trying golden milk a few evenings a week. Maybe it's adding a short walk to your daily routine. Small, consistent steps add up over time. Now let's address some common mistakes and myths about turmeric and inflammation. The first myth I want to clear up is the idea that turmeric is a quick fix. Some people expect to feel dramatically different after a day or two of using turmeric, and when they don't, they give up. The reality is that nutritional support for the body's inflammatory response typically takes time. We're talking about weeks or even months of consistent use before some people notice changes, and results vary significantly from person to person. Additionally, turmeric works best as part of an overall healthy lifestyle, not as a magic solution that compensates for other less healthy habits. The second mistake is using turmeric without black pepper or without any fat. As I mentioned earlier, curcumin isn't well absorbed on its own. If you're sprinkling turmeric on your food but not including black pepper or any fat in that meal, you may not be getting much benefit. The simple addition of pepper and consuming turmeric with fat-containing foods can make a significant difference in absorption. The third myth is thinking that if a little is good, more must be better. This isn't true and can actually be harmful. Very high doses of curcumin, especially from supplements, can cause digestive upset in some people. There are also potential interactions with blood-thinning medications, diabetes medications, and others. Moderation is key, and when it comes to supplements specifically, professional guidance is essential. Another mistake is completely ignoring other inflammatory factors while focusing solely on turmeric. If someone is eating a lot of highly processed foods, getting poor sleep, not moving their body, and experiencing chronic stress, adding turmeric alone is unlikely to make a dramatic difference. It's about the whole picture, not just one piece of the puzzle. Now, here are some important warning signs that mean you should see your doctor rather than trying to manage things on your own. While the tips I've shared today may be helpful for general wellness, there are situations where professional medical care is absolutely necessary. Please see your doctor right away if you experience sudden, severe joint pain or swelling, especially if it comes with redness and warmth in the joint. This could indicate infection or other conditions that need immediate attention. Please seek care if you have persistent pain that doesn't improve with rest or gets significantly worse over time. Please see your doctor if you notice unexplained fever along with joint pain or fatigue. If you experience numbness, tingling, or weakness in your limbs, that's a reason to seek medical evaluation. Any sudden changes in your health that feel concerning to you deserve professional attention. Difficulty breathing, chest pain or pressure, sudden confusion, or loss of coordination are emergency symptoms that require immediate medical care. Please trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it's always better to get it checked out. Your health and safety come first, always. Let me quickly recap what we've covered today. First, we talked about what inflammation is and why it tends to increase as we age. It's a normal bodily response that can become problematic when it's chronic. Second, we discussed turmeric and its active compound curcumin, which research suggests may help support a healthy inflammatory response in the body. Third, we went through several practical ways to incorporate turmeric into your daily routine, including golden milk, adding it to foods like eggs, soups, and rice, and being mindful of absorption by including black pepper and healthy fats. Fourth, we talked about complementary lifestyle habits that may help, including gentle, regular movement, quality sleep, and stress management. Fifth, we cleared up common myths and mistakes, including the idea that turmeric is a quick fix or that more is always better. And finally, we discussed important warning signs that mean you should see a doctor rather than trying to manage on your own. Remember, you don't have to implement all of this at once. Start with one small change that feels manageable to you. Maybe try making golden milk once or twice this week and see how you like it. Maybe add a little turmeric to tomorrow morning's eggs. Small, consistent steps are the path to lasting change. Be patient with yourself and with the process. Everyone's body is different and results vary. What matters is that you're taking an active interest in your health and well-being, and that alone is something to feel good about. If you found this video helpful, I'd be so grateful if you'd give it a thumbs up. It really does help other seniors find this information, and it lets me know that this content is valuable to you. If you're not subscribed yet, I'd love to have you join our community. I share new videos every week with simple, practical tips to help you stay strong, healthy, and independent as you age. There's a whole library of content here waiting for you. If you'd like to continue learning, I recommend watching my video on gentle morning stretches for joint comfort next. It's a perfect companion to what we discussed today. I'll put the link on the screen and in the description below. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate you being here. Remember to talk to your doctor before making any significant changes to your diet or trying any new supplements. Take good care of yourself, my friend, and I'll see you in the next video.